Hello, 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 beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. We are going to jump right into live Q&A because I received the most questions that I've ever received. And I still only have an hour. So guess what? We are going to get through all 16 questions in an hour. Somebody do the math with me and tell me how much time am I allotted to get through 16 questions in 60 minutes? I am not a mathematician. I am a historian. I am an educator. I am a certified dating and relationship coach who works with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve and work with couples to help them maintain that commitment. All right. So welcome, All Smiles Danny. Thank you for joining the live stream. Sweet Lib, Queen B, Jazz Lisbeth. I hope I got that right. Thank you for joining. Ambitiously Mel. Thank you, Autumn. I have 3.5 minutes per question. Hello, Power Moves. Thank you for joining. Chrissy, thank you for joining. I'm sure many of you are joining because of the amazing live stream I did last night that just came from the heart. But I got to tell you that even though this will be quite entertaining, it ain't gonna be that. Nonetheless, please stay on with me. Let's vibe together. Let's work together. Let us tackle some of these dating and relationship issues together. I want to get some insight from you all to hear what you think that my lovely followers should do in their particular circumstances. So if you are new to this live stream, hello everyone, welcome. Invite a friend. Go ahead and click the arrow that's at the bottom and share this live. My name is Alison. I have a bachelor's degree in education, a master's degree in what is it? Master's degree in counseling, master's degree extension in mental health counseling, and I'm a certified dating and relationship coach. Every Wednesday, I do this live stream at 6 p.m. Eastern, where I answer your burning dating and relationship questions. If you are new to this live, you may say, well, how do I get my question answered for free? This is how you do it. So on Tuesday, I put up this story that's green. Sorry, it timed out. Go back. Here we go. I gotta hold it. This story that's green, you drop the question in the question box and then I address it here. I give myself 1 hour to get through it all. And today I have lots of questions. So we are going to jump right in. And if you are new, I'd like to welcome you to the land of love. That's where we are, the land of love. So please let us know your name so that I can welcome you. All right. Man, there were some really tough ones. I'm gonna try to go in order because sometimes when I go out of order, I get confused. All right. How do you stay encouraged during the dating process? How do I stay encouraged during the dating process? Guys, I'm gonna give my feedback and I want you to go ahead and type whatever your thoughts, feelings, or emotions are about the question. I will go ahead and I will read it and share it. How do you stay encouraged during the dating process? Okay, so the first thing is, through any process, you have to have method. There has to be methodology. If you have a method in place, you are more inclined to get the result that you want. If you don't have a method, then you're going to end up spinning in a circle and then you don't get the end result and then you're frustrated and you want to quit. So what do I mean by that, right? Hey, Sunny, nice to meet you. And I'm looking kind of sunny today too in my yellow dress. So what do I mean by that? So if I always use weight loss, not because I'm passionate about weight loss. Believe you me, I just ate candy for lunch, right? But this is just the best example because everybody understands it. If I am trying to lose weight and I don't have a method on where I'm going to be burning these calories, I don't know what gym I'm going to. I don't have a friend that I'm running in the park with, right? I don't know how frequently I'm going to go to the gym, right? So there's no plan for the gym, no location. When it comes to me cutting back on my calories, I don't know how to count calories. I don't know what's considered healthy. I don't know you shouldn't drink soda. I don't know I should replace it with water. If there's no method to my madness, I'm never going to get to the result. And then I'm going to say something is faulty with losing weight. No, it's not. Something is faulty in the fact that you lack method. So the question is, how do I stay encouraged during the dating process? You need a method. And the method, and I'm going to make this super fast, the method that I impart onto my clients is the following. The first thing is, and someone asked this question, so we're going to get to it, is first identifying exactly what you want in a mate. You cannot go shopping for something without knowing what you want. If you go shopping saying, I'm looking for a dress, I don't know what color it is, I don't know what length it is. I don't know what style it is. I don't even know what the event is, right? So I might mess around and buy a white dress for a wedding and embarrass myself. If you don't know what you're looking for, it's going to be so much more difficult to get it. So the first step, before you even jump into the dating apps, before you even go out socially with your friends, the first thing that you have to do is you have to have a clear vision as to what you're looking for. When you go shopping for a house, you got to know, I want a 1 family, I want a 2 family, I want a ranch. A backyard is a must. I don't really care about parking. I need to be by the train. If you don't have a vision for what you are looking for, then your realtor is going to hate you and he's going to give up or she's going to give up on you before you even start, right? So to ask about how do I stay encouraged, do you have a clear vision as to what you're looking for in a mate in the first place? Do you have a list? Can you rattle it off the top of your head what you're looking for? That's number one. Before you start dating, know what you are looking for. And if you're dating right now, put it on pause and figure out what you're looking for. That's number one. Number two, you need to assess whether or not what you're looking for would want you. So let me give that in as a clothing reference, right? You say that you want a Gucci bag. You want a Gucci bag. This Gucci bag costs $1,300. That's what you want. Are you able to afford that bag? You want the bag. Can you give the $1,300 to get the bag? You want the bag. You want the $1,300 bag. Do you have the $1,300 in exchange to be able to get that bag? If the answer is no, then how do you expect to get the bag? I mean, you could try to steal it. Hopefully, cops don't get you, right? I'm sure there are methodologies you can try, but the most successful methodology would be figure out how do I get what is necessary in order to obtain what I want. Become what you want. You want someone who is loving and affectionate. However, you are hard. You have a wall up. You don't like to give affection. You're not kind. That's going to be kind of difficult. Now, they do say the opposites attract. Don't get me wrong. But I'd like to know how long they attract. Like, attraction is only on the surface. And then after the attraction, then what? So we're attracted, and then now what? I need to know that this attraction is not something that is going to diminish over time. I need to know that there is real value in our connection. And so to the question of how do I stay encouraged during the dating process, the very quick answer, because I give a full answer over 6 months with my coaching clients, and sorry, you ain't getting that for free on live Q&A, right? Is that first you have to have a clear vision for what you are looking for in a mate before you even go out in this scene. And then 2, you have to make sure that you are the type of person that guy or that girl would even want in the first place. Would they want you? Thank you, Autumn. My 5.5 minutes is up. Thank you. I was wrapping it up, I promise. Next question. We've been dating 5 months. He never says thank you after a meal, which I need/like. He says finished. Is he a 3-year-old? We've been dating 5 months. He never says thank you after a meal, which I need/like. He says finished. Okay, so a couple of things. Do you need it or do you like it? Because those aren't the same things, right? If you need those kind of words of affirmation, saying thank you, I appreciate that, then you need to clarify to this gentleman that is a need. And when you clarify that's a need and he insists on saying finished, right, then your needs are not being fulfilled. And so you may want to reconsider this relationship. If it's a need. If it's a want, how does that really compare to how he compares to as a partner? Like, we gotta weigh the pros and cons. Is that a deal breaker for you? I'm not judging. I am not here to judge. Because if you're making 3 square meals a day and every day you're annoyed 3 times about the fact that this guy is seemingly unappreciative, then I'm not here to judge you. But you have to decide whether or not that outweighs whatever else he has to offer. If it were me, that would not be a deal breaker for me. But that doesn't mean that it's not a deal breaker for you. So you have to decide whether or not it kills you. You cannot function every time you put the plate down. When he finished, he said, when he's finished, he says finish, which is mad weird. But if that's a deal breaker for you, then it's a deal breaker for you. If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. For me, it wouldn't be, but I'd have a conversation. I need to know, have you told him that this is problematic? It hurts your feelings. It doesn't make you feel appreciated. Have you said those words? If you haven't said those words, he cannot be held accountable. If you have said those words on more than one occasion, because, all right, I'm going to take a little bit more than 3.5 minutes for this one. I used to be a classroom teacher. If anybody knows anything about teaching, usually there are 8 periods in a day. 5 periods are for instruction for a teacher, 2 periods for prep, 1 period for lunch, right? So 5 times I would have the same lesson and I'd be repeating myself 5 times in a day. So I might say one of the causes of World War I was the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. And I said that 5 times. The next day, the do now would be, kids, what was one of the causes of World War I? And nobody could say the assassination of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, right? And I would be pissed. I heard it 5 times because I said it 5 times. They heard it once, and they heard it half of once because they were talking to their friends, right? So we have to be mindful that the expectation should not be realistically that you tell anyone something one time and they're supposed to just magically get it and they're going to magically change. That's impractical. What is more practical is that you have a conversation with your partner about something that bothers you and you share why in a tone that is receptive, right? And then if they do it again, you're going to tell them again. I'm not talking about outrageous behavior. I'm not talking about cheating. I'm not talking about hitting on people. I'm talking about something like this. And then you tell them again. And then you tell them again. Because just because you keep repeating it in your head and you're the one who experiences the emotion, to have an expectation that they're just going to get it the first time and change, especially if he's in his 30s and been like this, that's impractical. So you got to say it a couple of times. And then maybe the next time you got to get a little elevated. And maybe the next time you have to throw it into a story. And then maybe the next time you got to give them a little nudge, right? Or maybe you might have to teach a lesson, right? There's something that he likes. I'm not talking about sex. That you don't do. Babe, but you always make me my meals. Yeah, I do. And I love cooking for you. However, when you don't say thank you, it makes me feel unappreciative. So why should I go above and beyond to cook for you if you're going to continue to not show me appreciation after I've explained to you on multiple occasions that it makes me feel good when you do that? And that's not game playing. I know the guys are going to come, oh, why are you playing games? Clearly, I've expressed this to you respectfully multiple times and you still don't understand. So perhaps when there is no meal in front of you, then you'll have an appreciation for the fact that this chick is cooking for you and you don't say thank you. After explaining respectfully multiple times. So that would be my recommendation. Okay? Do you do marriage counseling? Yes, ma'am. Or yes, sir. Whoever you are. Go ahead, click the link in my bio. Tap the 3rd or 4th button. 30 minutes or an hour. Okay? Next up. I read this earlier today and I didn't even get it. So I'm going to skip it, y'all, because I didn't understand. Okay. Am I wrong for not wanting to date a man who doesn't have a car? I live in New York. He lives in New Jersey. Am I wrong for not wanting to date a man who doesn't have a car? I live in New York. He lives in New Jersey. Okay, so I know this person, so I'm going to specify and say that she lives in New York City. Because living in New York and living in New York City may not be the same thing. And is not the same experience. So as a New Yorker and someone who's been driving since 21, I needs a car. I don't care how many trains are running. I don't care if we have the best system. I needs a car, right? However, I do recognize as someone who's in New York City, yes, she does, Chrissy, she does have a car. And the only reason I know that because I know her personally. And the only I get it. Like, we're in New York. We don't really need a car, right? You're in New York. You're dating somebody in Jersey. I feel like, and I am more than open to accepting whatever you guys think. And please go ahead and write it in the comments. I feel like if you don't live in New York City, there's no excuse that you don't have a car and you're a grown man. And I can tell you that this lady's in her 40s. So that means she's probably dating guys in his 40s. How you live outside of New York City and you don't have a car? How do you function outside of New York City and you don't have a car? And this is really sexist, and I know y'all going to hold this against me. You a grown man and you don't have a car? Nah. Chrissy says, I understand her not wanting to be the one to continuously do the commuting. I agree. Why doesn't he have a car? That's a good question, Serenity. I don't know. Unfortunately, this stuff is limited. I don't have enough context. But that's a good question. We would need to know. Is his car in the shop? Did he get into an accident? He's a little traumatized. Like, I'd like to know some more details as well. But on the surface, I don't think I would start dating someone who didn't live in New York City and didn't have a car. If you lived in New York City, I can rock with that because I understand, even though that's not my life, I understand, right? But outside of New York, I cannot imagine any adult being able to function without a car. Natalia says, can he afford to Uber around? That's a good question, right? Because if he's blowing a bag on Ubers and wants to do that, then that's his business. Think Outside the Box says, what's the main reason? What's the logic? There has to be something behind it. Like, why he doesn't have it? We don't know. It's limited. So I don't know what it is. Agreed. I know someone who is an Uber king because he said it wasn't practical anymore. However, I don't like men in my passenger seat. So do you allow them to drive your car? And then I got to move on because, like I said, I got 16 questions, not enough time. Does he know how to drive? It sounds like he can't afford a car. How did they meet and how is he mobilizing? They met through a dating app. That I could also answer for you. All right. So I would say inside of New York City, forgivable. Outside of New York City, I would not start dating someone without a car unless there was a really good reason why they didn't have it and they're getting one soon. Sorry. Next. Was I wrong to cut off someone who was husband material, but I didn't find him physically attractive? Was I wrong to cut off someone who was husband material, but I didn't find physically attractive? So this actually goes back to what I said initially, right? When we first started. You need to establish what your non-negotiables are before you even start in the dating scene. You should not be going to the car lot not knowing what your budget is. You shouldn't be going to the car lot without knowing what type of vehicle you want. You should not go to the car lot without knowing your credit first. Like, you should not be on any scene looking to connect with anything without knowing exactly what the parameters are. So if a non-negotiable for you is that you have to be physically attracted to the person before you would date them, then you are not wrong for not pursuing them. And I'm thankful that you didn't pursue them and didn't waste their time so that they could be a blessing upon someone else. If that's your non-negotiable, for me, that's a non-negotiable for me. It's important to me that I am physically attracted to my husband. It's important, and I'm sure that was a standard for him too, right? So if it's a standard, then who are we to say that your standard is shallow or problematic? I don't agree with that. That's your standard. That's your standard. If it's not your standard, then there's nothing to talk about. You move on to what the other 5 or 6 things are on your list. And if he meets the criteria and he's interested in you, you continue to see him. But there is nothing wrong with wanting to be physically attracted to the person that you are seeing. Serenity says, if it's one of your non-negotiables, it's not wrong. Ambitious Mel, it's not about being wrong. Everyone's deal breakers are different. Absolutely. And there is a match for everybody. Okay? Good. Welcome, Brown Stallion 34. Thank you for joining the live stream. Next up. How can trust be rebuilt when your partner is not accountable for his actions? When is it time to really go? How can trust be rebuilt when your partner is not accountable for his actions? When is it time to really go? So, first of all, I am being presumptuous because we are on limited time. And if we want a session together, I wouldn't be this presumptuous, right? I'm going to presume that you know whatever he may have done, you know for a fact. So he broke your trust by cheating. He broke your trust by stealing from you. He broke your trust by lying to you. First of all, we need to know that this is a fact. If this is not a fact, then respectfully, you got to shut it up. If you don't know for a fact that this person did whatever you believe that they did, because he said he's not accountable for his actions, I'm imagining, unless something's wrong, that you don't have enough proof that he is forced to be accountable, right? So, but I don't know that. I don't know. If you don't have hard facts that this person did whatever you think that they did that broke the trust, then this is the end of the conversation. I can't say nothing to you, because you can't hold somebody accountable for something that you don't know for sure that they did and they're not willing to admit, right? Think about it like a criminal. If there's no hard facts about the criminal, that the criminal did the act, and he's not admitting that he did the act, then a jury's not going to find him guilty. So unless you know for sure that he did whatever you say he did, let's just stop right there, and you need to move on within the relationship or move away, right? Let's presume that you know this for a fact. You know for a fact that he did whatever you say that he did. And this gentleman is still unwilling to take responsibility for what he did, and it is clear as day that he did it, then he and you are wasting your time. I'll change that. You are wasting your time. If you know that this person violated the trust of a relationship, it is undeniable. And this guy absolutely refuses to take responsibility for his actions and says, yes, babe, I did take the money. Yes, babe, I did have sex with her. Yes, babe, I did lie to you and tell you that I was doing one thing and doing something else. If he refuses to take accountability for his actions, you will never be able to move on. Even when someone takes accountability for their actions, sometimes it's very difficult for you to move on. There is no way in hell you can move on from this violation that, again, presuming that you know is a fact, if this person is unwilling or unable to take responsibility for their actions. How can you move on? Because if he's not willing to take responsibility, he finds nothing wrong with it. Guess what? He's going to do it again. Whatever it is, because we don't have enough context, right? So then why in the world would you continue in a relationship with a person who has violated the trust of your relationship and thinks nothing's wrong? And you gonna stay so you can do it again? And guess what? I'm gonna get this line wrong. I'm gonna sound like W. Like, what is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like, he's gonna do it again. Even when people are apologetic, they do it again. Even when people publicly take accountability, a whole Facebook, baby, I can't believe I broke your heart. I played you in public, so I'm gonna apologize in public, and they'll play you again. So imagine the person who refuses to take accountability for what they supposedly did. Again, presuming that he did it. If you don't have no evidence, shush, please. Because all we're going to do is go in circles all day long. But if you know, not deep in your heart. Like, you know, and this guy still refuses to, you got to go. That's how you know. And if you need help on learning how to move on from an ex, I want you to click the link in my bio, scroll all the way down to free resources, and you are going to download the free ebook, Move On Sis. I give you, and by the way, it's called Move On Sis, but it's not based in gender. Like, anybody could download it, and it's useful for anybody, right? And you are going to follow those 5 steps. One of the hardest steps, which I'm going to do a live stream about one of these days, is getting off their social media, cut them off, 100%. No communication whatsoever. But this guy's not taking responsibility. What the hell are you doing? He's never going to change. Period. What is your view on long distance relationships? What is your view on long distance relationships? I talk about this every week, y'all. Y'all keep asking me the same thing. I need to put it in my highlights. I just need to put it in my highlights, okay? Long distance relationships can work. They can. Let me tell you what would need to happen in order for them to work. Number 1, how do you find your bio? You click on my name, and it's the lines that's under my name. And there's a hyperlink. It says bookalison.com. Or you could go to bookalison.com and you'll find it there, okay? What's your view on long distance relationships? So, the first thing is there needs to be an end date. If there is no end date, then that relationship being able to sustain is going to be nearly impossible. And now that end date doesn't even have to be anything that's short. But I need to know that by 2023, we will be together. I need to know by December of 2022, we will be reunited. There needs to be an end date. If there is no end date for the suffering that I am dealing with as a result of us being apart, then what am I holding on to? At least I can hold on to the fact that, all right, he's out, he's deployed for 18 months, and I'm going to see my baby in January of 2023. I don't know if that's 18 months, but you work with me, right? I need to know. Now, I'm about to get a little bit ghetto, so apologies in advance. If he's locked up, if she's locked up, and it's a 5-year bid, and if you choose, at least you know, 5 years. I know I can hold out if you choose to. I can hold on. I can manage finances. I can do whatever. You need to have a definitive end date. If there's no definitive end date, the likelihood of somebody being able to hold on to the dream and the excitement of being reunited is going to be significantly diminished. So end date is a must, right? And then the second part is not as concrete. The second part is that you have to make an effort. Both parties have to make an effort that they want to be together. Like they're willing to do the sacrifice of what it takes to be separated in order to be together. So a definitive date and both parties being as invested, equally invested in making the relationship work. Now, whether I see somebody with a hell no, okay, I mean, that's your choice. I'm not saying you got to do it. I'm just saying, can it work? Yes. The likelihood, lessen. And if there's no end date, it's a wrap. Good luck for you. Oh, I'm moving to LA to try my career, and I'm going to, when it pops, I'm moving to New York because I want to be in theater, and I'm going to give it a couple of years. Good luck. Good luck. Ooh, this is one. Oh, all right, y'all. How to respond to, open quotation marks, let's enjoy and focus only on the here and now and not a hypothetical future. Let's enjoy and focus only on the here and now, not on the hypothetical future. So, lady, I'm gonna take it that you knew, and it's all good, because I love when people join me in the land of love. If you want to be a part of the land of love, then I want you to text the word align to 21,000. Somebody do me a favor in the comments. Type the word align to 21,000. All right. So that you can get alerts, so you can get information on this, because this is a no. This is a hell no. This is a, how do you say no in Spanish? No. How do you say no in German? Niet, I think. That might be Swedish. No. Well, no. You 20? If you 20, then hey. If you with me, if you're in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and we're here together, no. I'm not seeing what direction anything is going in. I'm not going with anyone's flow. I don't go with anyone's flow. I don't go with my own flow. I have a plan. I have notebooks. I have the note app in my phone. I have a calendar. I have a Google Drive. I got Excel sheets. I got every plan you can imagine. If I don't go with the flow with me, because I don't trust that I'm going to complete the task that I desire in a timely fashion, why the hell would I go with the flow with you? So then 8 months down the line, when I'm seeing you exclusively, but you not, and then I'm mad because you do some F-boy stuff, right? And then you going to say the line to me that's going to make me get locked up. You going to say to me, you know what you going to say? You going to say to me, well, you not my girl anyway. That's what you going to say. And then you right, because I was the fool who allowed the go with the flow situation, right? I was the fool. And then you're right, and I'm mad at me. And you're right, and I'm mad at you. And then now we're fighting. Now they call the cops. They call the cops. I'm losing my job. I got to call my mother to bail me out. My mother's ashamed. She's a West Indian woman. Her girl child don't go to jail. Why are we doing this? Why? We're not going with anyone's flow. I don't go to a job and say, pay me what you want. I'm going to go with the flow. Give me the responsibilities willy-nilly when you feel. No, I need a contract. I need an agreement. I I need an outline of expectations. I need to know what my salary is. I need to know what the insurance is. What's the deal with my 401k? What's the deal with my, do you match it? Is that what y'all do? What? I'm not going. You know what? You know whose flow I'm going to go with? There is somebody's flow that I just thought about it. There's somebody's flow that I go with. Sometimes when I go to the nail lady, I say, do whatever you want. Freestyle. That's who gets to go with the flow. Okay? Don't make me catch a case. See? And you know what? It would be my fault because I was the one who allowed somebody's boy child to tell me that we gonna go with the flow. So when I catch that case, that's my fault, not his. And when I lose my license with New York State, the multiple licenses I have, you know whose fault that is? My fault, not his. Because I was the fool, and I call you a fool, I'm just saying in general, right? That allowed going with the flow. I ain't going with nobody's flow. I'm not 20 years old. Please. All right. I got to move on, y'all. I love y'all. Ooh, y'all was asking some hard questions last week, and now it comes again this week. If you started dating a man with income, and he stops, I assume, the income stops for him, right? And he stops, should you stop dating him? If you started dating a man with income and he stops, should you stop dating him? Man, y'all gonna make me really look like a bad person today. Okay. Y'all know I am very passionate about self-development. So in that vein, if someone is unemployed or underemployed, I believe that they should be pulling themselves out of the dating pool to reestablish their finances, to reestablish their foundation before entering back into said dating pool. Actually, let me take a step back. The first thing I want to do is define dating. That's the first thing I want to do. I define dating, and I'm being presumptuous to say that dating is when you are having romantic conversations with someone that you're interested in and going out. Like physically going to places and spending quality time. That's how I'm defining dating, right? So if I was dating, so casually, not in a committed relationship, conversation that was romantic and flirty, going out to places and spending quality time, and this gentleman lost his income, I'm going to be cautious. I'm not saying I'm going to dismiss this dude 100%. And again, the way that I define dating, I will get into your boyfriend, your husband in a second. I would be cautious. I need to know who, what, when, where, why, and how. And even though that might be seen as fresh or inappropriate, nah, because I'm not taking care of anybody's son except for my own, right? In the future, knock on wood. So I need to know all the deets. I need to know what the plan is. Now, I may not be coming across as aggressively as I am with you guys, right? But I need to know the who, what, when, where, why, and how, and what's the plan moving forward. So I'm not going to dismiss the day he loses his job. Oh, nah, I'm good. Don't talk to me. Don't call me again. I need to further investigate. If there is a solid plan in place, I could rock out with that. Well, you know, I have a business. So this was my 9-to-5 that gave me security. So I'm just going to move forward and push forward my business, which I believe will be able to secure me moving forward. Okay, right? Like, I'm going to inquire. But if there's no plan and we ain't tied, then it's in his best interest to remove himself from the dating pool and at minimum reestablish himself as an adult who can function in society. Now, if this is my boyfriend, absolutely not. Like the exact opposite of what I just said. Babe, I'm going to give him some time. I'll give him a couple of weeks to get over the shock of losing the job. We're going to talk about what else he wants to explore. I'm going to help him with the resume. We're both, I hope y'all saw the spit, are online applying for new jobs and new opportunities. We're talking about entrepreneurial opportunities, right? If there was something that was already in the mist, we're flushing that out. If this is my husband, same thing times 2. A guy that I'm casually seeing After my inquiry, if he seems like someone who has a plan, I'll continue to see him. Again, it's not exclusive, so it's really no skin off my back. I'm also seeing John the next week, and he's seeing Mary the next week, as it should be. My boyfriend, I'm not leaving my boyfriend because he lost his job. My husband, I'm not leaving my husband because he lost his job. Now, a couple months down the line, we're going to have to reassess where you are, sir, right? And how I can further support you and what we're going to do to get you a job. Because again, I'm not taking care of anybody's son except for my own, right? But someone you're dating, from your boyfriend to your husband, are going to be different experiences. Okay? Okay. Now, after 10 years of a situationship, after 10 years of a situationship, finally bettering me, how can I simultaneously begin dating? You're going to click the link in my bio. You're going to scroll down to the 5th button. You're going to click on Dating 101. It is on sale for $37. It's 3.5 hours of teaching you how to navigate the dating scene, both online and offline. It's going to teach you which dating apps are the right apps for you. It's going to teach you how to create a dating profile. It's going to teach you how to position yourself in person so that you're attracting the right mates and repelling the wrong ones. This is a woman, so it's going to talk about leaning into your feminine energy. That is how you can begin dating again. Click the link in my bio. Scroll down to, I forgot the name of the section. But it's like the 5th button. Dating 101, the masterclass. It is $37. I have another trick for y'all. Even better than that, right? If you download anything from me that's free, the ebook, the training, anything that's free, when you click to download the free thing, the next screen is going to give you that same Dating 101 training. That's $37 if you clicked it on its own for $19. And then saved you some money. 3.5 hours of gems on how to successfully date online, how to navigate. Now, if you want hand-holding, you want me to tell you specifically how you can navigate the dating scene and how you can be successful, and you need guidance and support about how to flush out what you want and how you can become a better person and what to write and your photos and all that kind of good stuff, that is my 6-month coaching program, The Partner You Deserve. Click the link on my bio. You're going to go to the second button, and you're going to schedule a call so we could talk about whether or not my 6-month program is a good fit for you. If that is not where you are financially, because it is an investment, as it should be, 6 months of my work, how much you think that's going to cost, right? If you're not prepared for that, Dating 101 is $37. If you click on anything that's free, you're going to see on the next screen, I offer it to you for $19. Take advantage while it's still on sale. Next. Is it possible to become so numb to dating? You've gone on too many dates and nothing serious transpires. Is it possible to become so numb to dating? You've gone on too many dates and nothing serious transpires. So, yes, Malika Fantab, I took my hair out already. I had to. I couldn't manage it. Party done. Hair had to go. Literally, the party's done. The hair had to go. Is it possible to become so numb to dating? Yes, it is. It is possible to become numb to anything. You eat spaghetti every day. You don't want to eat that shit again, right? Absolutely. However, if you follow the steps that I've outlined for free in my free training, for paid in Dating 101, and for super paid, where you get a coach who is going to guide you live, right? Then you are not going to become so frustrated because you're going to have a strategy in the system. If you were on the live earlier, I talked about specific strategies that you use in order for you to be more successful in the dating scene. So when I'm done, listen back again, and that'll give you some more guidance. Then there's a free training. Click the link in my bio, the first button. Then there's a paid training, pre-recorded, and then there's the coaching program. And if I'm not the right one, then find somebody who is, and then you go through their free and then their little pay. And if you're still unsuccessful, you go for the big pay. That's just the next natural progression of things. Yes, of course you can become numb, but it's because you're not using the right strategy. You're not being strategic. You're not following guidelines and rules that will assist you in your process, just like any other process. You become overwhelmed, you want to quit. But if you follow the techniques that I provided and that others provide too, then it can help to curb some of those dates that you should have never gone on in the first place. People you should have never given a chance in the first place. You wasn't attracted to him, but he was a nice guy, so you went on the date. Now you done been on 5 dates, you don't even like him, and now you're mad at the dating process. No, be mad at you. Because you knew you weren't attracted to him in the first place. You should have never gone. Right? You were hungry. As King Ashley Ann says, blink, blink, blink. You were hungry. So you went out on a date with a guy that you don't even like, and now you numb to dating. Not you. I'm you out there, right? Oh, I don't like dating. Yeah, because you're not doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it because you're bored. You're doing it because you're hungry. You're doing it because someone seems nice, so you just want to give them a chance. You're doing it because you got your hair done, so you want to take pictures at a nice restaurant. You're doing it because you want to take a picture of the plate and his watch with the arm with the tattoos on it to give the ex the impression that you got something going on, and then you're numb. You're not going through your non-negotiables. You don't have non-negotiables. You're not going through your non-negotiables. You're not ensuring that this person at least seemingly, because that's dating. Dating is a process. We have to go through the process to see whether or not this person is worthy and you are worthy to go on to the next step. You're not even vetting these people. You're not asking them questions. You're not doing an assessment, right? And not the Spanish Inquisition, but asking questions. You're not gathering the data. You're not coming to a conclusion about whether or not this is an appropriate match to you. You going because they asked. You going because you're bored. You're going because you're hungry. You're going because you always want to try that restaurant anyway. You're going because it's a nice day. You're going because your hair is done. You got a new dress. You're going because you want to make somebody jealous on Instagram. And then you're surprised when you're numb. Accountability. Go on dates with the people that you actually like, that you think seemingly fit the bill after you've established the guidelines that you're looking for in a mate. That will reduce the amount of dates that you go on, which would increase your interest in actually dating and it being fun versus it being a pain. Okay? Any tips for navigating the dating scene in your early 20s? Click the link in my bio, tap on the first button for the free training. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes. After you've done that for a couple of weeks, it's not working out in your favor, you need more, you're going to buy Dating 101, the masterclass, for $37. If that's not enough, chill. You're in your early 20s. You don't need a coach. If you feel like you need therapy for your life, then okay. And if by default it helps you in dating, then fine. You're in your early 20s. Chill out. Have fun. Explore. Learn. Google. YouTube. You're young. You have time. 20s, young, early 20s, when we talked about going with the flow. Okay. 27, dating with focus. Just chill. It's okay. This is a good one. I'm telling y'all, I got some hard questions today, y'all, and I got 15 minutes. All right. Oh, Malika says chill. Chill. You're young. Go on some YouTube. You can Google some stuff, right? Do a little research. If you spend a little dollar on an ebook if you want to, just chill. Does a man with a SSI check qualify to be in a relationship or on the dating scene? Does a man with an SSI check qualify to be in a relationship or on the dating scene? So really quickly, before I answer that question, I'm going to answer the question that's here. How do you, Malika, every time Malika gets on, I can't read. If y'all don't know, Malika's my friend. Do you do regular therapy? No, I'm not a therapist. So I'm going to take a little second on this SSI question so I can even think about an answer and kind of explain the difference between a therapist and a coach. So a therapist is going to do a deep, extensive dive, and any therapist who's on here, feel free to add on to whatever I say. A therapist is going to do a deep, extensive dive on your past to resolve those issues, those traumas, those experiences, so that it improves your current, right? That's going to really like a terrible definition, but in the purpose of me explaining the difference between a therapist and a coach, that's the definition I'm going to give you. They're going to do a deep dive on the past, help you resolving those issues, giving you the tools necessary to navigate your current life, right? That ain't a coach. So think about a relationship coach just like a basketball coach. A basketball coach has their team. You made the team. You in the lineup, right? You just start in 5. They're going to take that team that they are given in the place that they are in their life right now, with the skill set that they have in their life right now, and they're going to try their best to teach them as much as they can to get them from tryouts to the playoffs. The coach is probably not going to undo the entire way that athlete is going to dribble a ball. That coach is probably not going to undo I apologize in advance for not knowing much about basketball. The way that they flick the wrist for the free throw, right? They're going to say, this is the team that I have. I'm going to teach them as much as I can in the short season that I have to get them from point A to point B. A therapist is going to reteach you how to dribble. A therapist is going to dig deep and find out why you even dribble the way that you dribble, why you shoot the way that you shoot. They're going to ask you poignant questions to figure out the process by which you learned and all of that good stuff. That is therapy. That is extensive. Coaching is not. It gets you from point A to point B based on where you are right now. So I hope that helps. And can someone answer for Miss Lady T42 in the comments how you submit questions for Q&A? Oh, okay, somebody already did. Thank you. She posted her story the day before and earlier. This is too much. Tell me what's too much. Oh, the SSI check. Yeah, okay. So, does a man with an SSI check qualify to be in a relationship or dating scene? So this is kind of similar to the question we had last week where the gentleman asked about him being in a wheelchair. And does that mean that he's only limited to the dating pool of women who are in wheelchairs? And what I explained to him then is no, you're not limited to that pool, but you do have to understand that people who are not at least, and I apologize for not using the appropriate language, so don't kill me, right? If they don't have a visible disability or they don't have a physical disability, you cannot be upset if those women are not interested in dating you because they don't understand the experience, right? They may feel uncomfortable around those who are disabled. And we're not going to blame them for that because that's just not their experience. So the same logic I'm going to said there last week is the same logic I'm going to apply here. If someone has an SSI check, that usually means that they have a disability. Does that mean that someone who's disabled doesn't have a right to be on the dating scene? No. Does that mean that someone with a disability doesn't have a right to be in a relationship and experience love? Absolutely not. However, you should be mindful that there are going to be some people who are not going to understand or appreciate or be willing to give you a chance because they haven't had that experience. So if that's your only income and you're unable to work, and understanding that a woman who is not disabled won't understand your inability to work. I put that in quotation marks, but I'm not trying to be judgmental, right? Like if they don't understand that, like, why don't you work? You have a disability, so what? They're not going to understand and not going to appreciate that. So that's your only your only income, and it's not something that's really sustainable and allows for a comfortable lifestyle. Then a woman who's not disabled is going to have a very hard time appreciating that because that's just not their experience. Similar to like interracial dating. There's going to be conflict sometimes, right? Because culturally, if you're not coming from a similar experience, you just don't get it. Can you push through? Yes. Can you explain to the person and they may understand? Yes. Or they may not. They may not understand why you can't put raisins in potato salad. And they're going to put raisins on forever. You have to decide whether or not you can deal with the raisins, right? So just because you get an SSI check, and again, I'm assuming that that's because you're disabled, does that mean you can't date or you don't qualify? Absolutely not. But again, you may want to date people who are going through a similar experience so that you don't have to worry about having to explain away why this is a circumstance. Oh, someone says this doesn't mean that they're old. Oh, I don't know. Do the elderly get an SSI check? Okay, Social Security, right? I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough about SSI, but I can tell you that this particular person, I believe, is talking about is someone who's close to us in age, and they may have a disability, just based on previous questions. That's how I would do it. That's how I would do it. Understand that other people who don't have a similar experience may not be comfortable, may not be sensitive, and may not be understanding to your experience. So it's sometimes in your best interest to date people who have similar experiences than you. Not to say it's not a teachable moment, but it can cause conflict. It may be in your best interest. Okay? How can we move forward after I was caught cheating? How can we move forward after I was caught cheating? Oh, yes. Is it a fee? I don't want to get this wrong. Disability gets SSDI. Yeah, but I know this gentleman in the internet world, and he's talking about SSDI. He's talking about disability. How can we move forward after I was caught cheating? Okay. So similar to the trust issue that we were talking about like 20 minutes ago, the first thing you need to do is publicly, I mean to your girlfriend's face. This is a guy who's talking. You need to publicly acknowledge that you did it. Like, you know you did it. She knows, she kind of knows that you did it. Like, she knows. So if she knows, you need to admit it, right? So we need to be forthcoming about what you did. And she's going to ask you a ton of questions. She wants to know, was it better? Why'd you do it? How frequently? Who else knew? It's in your best interest to tell the entire truth. Because if anything else comes out thereafter, then now you really are a liar, right? So if you tell her it was only once, but really it was 5 times, and then your chick finds out, especially if she found out from the side chick, it is only, so then if you said it was 5 times, it probably was 10 times. If you say it was 10 times and it was 2 women, once you are found out, it is in your best interest to tell the truth in its entirety so that you can do the best you can to try to mend this. That's number 1. Tell the entire truth. Number 2 is you are going to apologize until your lips fall off. You are going to apologize until your knees go red. You are going to apologize until your account is overdrawn. You are going to apologize until I don't even know what to tell you. And she can still tell you she doesn't want to give you a second chance. And you better suck it up. Because who the hell told you to go be cheating? Right? So you need to profusely, outrageously kiss this lady's ass. You need to take her to work. You need to pick her up. You need to send her flowers. You need to buy her Uber Eats. You need to do whatever it takes to get on this lady's good side. And she'll forget, she probably will forgive you, right? And then she'll forget about it. And then she'll remember a couple of weeks later, mad randomly. And then she'll spaz out and you're going to take it. Unless she's physically harming you. That's a different thing, right? And you're not going to say, why can't you move on? You're going to shut your mouth. And you're going to allow her to go off on you randomly every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 months, every 6 months, until she's over it. Or you could leave. That's an option too, right? If you don't feel like going above and beyond to apologize for your wrongdoing, if you don't feel like having to take her carry on and being obnoxious and being loud and crying out of nowhere, what happened? Someone's cheating on TV. Now that's a reminder. Oh, well. So you can either stick it out and shut your mouth and only apologize, answer to her every whim, share your location. You need to win back her trust. Or you can decide that it's not worth this effort and then you can move on, and that's okay too. You have that right, because something's missing anyway about the reason why you cheated, right? Something's missing. So those are your options. Choose wisely. And let me just throw this in there too. If she does anything that's questionable, and this might not be the right thing to say, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. If she does anything that's questionable, she's coming home later, she changed her phone keypad password, you better shut your mouth too. Because you don't have a right to say a thing right now. You are in apology mode. You are trying to get back on her good side. Shush your mouth and roll with the punches. Or not. And that's okay too. But you're not gonna have one foot in where I'm trying to save this relationship, and 1 foot out. I don't have to tell you where I'm going. Yes, yes, the hell you do. Or, you not telling me where you going, but that's right. Or, y'all are walking, holding hands, everything's all good. Then she suck her teeth and snatch her hand. You better not complain, because you created this scenario. So you have to suffer through it or decide that it's not worth the effort and remove yourself. But you cannot stay in this relationship and think that you're going to be able to maintain the same. And it may never be the same, FYI. You may have ruined this forever. You might be begging and taking on trips and buying her bags and doing all those kind of amazing things, and she still might leave you. This is the risk that you took by cheating and being stupid enough to get caught. And that is the nature of the game. Okay? Wish you the best of luck. I'm seeing a lot of hand claps, applause. I hope the people in the back heard you. Big facts. Oh, hey, Kingdom Percussionist. Thank you for joining. All right, y'all. I got 3 minutes and 5 questions. All right. So let's try to make this as quickly as possible. I'll make this as quick as... Oh, no. Make this as quick as possible. This happens when you swipe and then you get lost. I definitely saw something that was a good one. Goodness. What strategies do you take evaluating yourself to become a better version of you? You know, guys, I'm always talking about this. What strategies do you take evaluating yourself to become a better version of you? In the effort to save time, I talk about it for an hour and 20 minutes. Click the link in my bio, tap the first button. It's an absolutely free training. And I talk about how to work on becoming a better version of you. I also work with my clients directly on being reflective on where they've gone wrong in the past. What are some of the qualities that are undesirable about them and how they can change those behaviors? That's a one-on-one thing with my coaching clients. If you want another answer that's for the free, click the link in my bio, tap the first button. There was a good one in here, man. And now I lost it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to just go with the first one that I saw because... an ex reconnected to start over. Acknowledge his faults, but he is notorious for unmeasured steps. All right, so I tell this story all the time and I'm gonna tell it again to y'all. I am for reconnecting with exes once there is proof of changed behavior. So if you guys broke up because they moved across the country and a long distance relationship just wasn't a good fit for the both of you and it's over and 5 years later they've moved back home, guess what? There is proof because they now have an apartment, right? With keys and a lease. There is proof that whatever caused the breakup doesn't exist anymore. And so you can rekindle. If you've broken up because the person was verbally abusive and they went to therapy, they're a year out of therapy, they told you they went to therapy, they're talking different, they're walking different, you're getting the impression that they are an evolved version of them, give them a second chance. We're human beings, we all make mistakes, right? There's some things like, I ain't gonna forgive, I don't care how evolved you are, right? But if there is proof, like proof of life, right? If there is proof of change, then I would encourage you to date someone that you were romantically interested in or with before, because they must have had a whole bunch of other things that were desirable, but there was something that ended that relationship. We are human beings. We make mistakes. If they can offer you proof that they have changed that circumstance or that behavior, I don't think there's anything wrong with giving them a second chance, right? But you said, but he is notorious for unmeasured steps. I assume that means like not having a plan or not executing. So that means you don't have proof that he has changed. He acknowledged his faults. I acknowledge that I had candy for lunch and that's unhealthy. I can acknowledge I only had 2 bottles of water today, like I did yesterday, instead of 8. Acknowledging it doesn't mean I'm going to change the behavior. As a matter of fact, I need some more right now. Acknowledging it means nothing. So if you're saying he's notorious for not following through, then you already have your answer. The behavior has not changed. The activity has not changed. So he has not changed and you'll be wasting your own time. He did not waste it. You wasted it. As I eat my candy. Because you know he's notorious for being someone who doesn't follow through. So you made a poor choice. Don't make that choice again. And there was one more. I'm sure there was one more. That's why I need to go in order. I guess it's not meant to be. Whoever it is, I'm sorry. I love you. And DM me, and I will give you a nice long response, a better response than I would have given on the live stream, since I did not honor my word of answering every question. So if you would like your questions answered live here anonymously every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for live Q&A, what you are going to do is every Tuesday, I drop this green story and you are going to put the question right there. You're not going to DM it to me. I'm going to lose it. You're not going to email it to me. I'm going to lose it. You're not going to put it in the comments. I'm going to lose it, and then I'm not going to answer it, and then you're going to be sad. So what I need you to do, every Tuesday, you go into my stories, you put in the question, and as I said, I will answer every single question I receive. And I made it happen. I did it 16 questions in an hour and 2 minutes, and I made it happen. If you are just joining this live, do not worry. Have no fear. I'm going to be saving this live like I do all of them. I do want to give a special shout out to Alex for purchasing a badge, Big Cat Mother Funk for purchasing a badge, Jappa Black for always being supportive. Thank you. Kim B. Autumn, thank you for purchasing a badge. My own company purchased a badge for me. Wellington Event Rentals, thank you. Oh Hey Paris and the Snap Cypher, thank you for purchasing a badge. I appreciate all of you guys. Oh, Slim says, I love your lives. I hate when that end. But guess what? There's a whole library. So if you ever just need to just listen casually, like when you're on the train or when you're driving or something, go ahead and watch those live streams. I also put all the lives on YouTube. So if you want to check me out on YouTube at Align with Alison, you can see them there as well. And my last point, before I let you go, is if you did not watch yesterday's live, you have done yourself a tremendous disservice. This is what happens when you steal other people's lines. That's not my line. A tremendous disservice. I want you to check out yesterday's live stream. I did it at like 9 o'clock last night. I was mad tired. It was 28 minutes. It's not very long, but it's a little bit about me. I got a little emotional, and I don't do that because I'm a thug. I'm from Brooklyn. Come on. I want you to check it out. It's really good stuff, and I think it's going to help to motivate you to get something done that you've been holding out on. And it might not be love. It might not be relationships. That's my thing, but it doesn't have to be that. If there's anything that you've been holding back on, I talk about how to take action and how I've taken action to improve my life. So go ahead and watch yesterday's live stream. It's been up for like 18 hours. And I have the most views on that video than any other video in my entire catalog. And I've been doing this for over a year. In 12 hours. Oh, Slim says definitely worth the watch. Had me in tears. Somebody emailed me and told me they was crying. Y'all soft. It's y'all period. Y'all soft. Because if I was able to hold back tears, then y'all shouldn't have been crying because it's my story. Nonetheless, that video has the most views out of every or any single video that I've ever done on Instagram. And that was within 12 hours of me posting it. That's how good it is. I want you to go ahead and check it out if you did not. And if you are just joining this live, I will be saving this one immediately. I gotta go. I gotta eat. My husband's cooking and it smells good. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye.